Hello, welcome everyone. Tonight's program is Rise Above the Crowd, Stand Out and Shine. So note that all suggestions and tips are my opinions from years of experience as an artist and gallerist, as well as from input and feedback from other art professionals such as art gallery owners and art organization executives. And as we all know, there is no one way to do anything. So you may choose to do things in a different way if they are best for you in your particular situation. So tonight, we're going to talk about being a professional artist. So that involves more than just creating art. Being a professional artist means juggling multiple responsibilities. To be a true professional requires a commitment of time and resources and a commitment to detail. A true professional never settles for less than giving 100% to anything and everything they do. Passion, commitment, and determination are the attributes to focus on in a professional career as a fine artist. So I suggest, number one, that you view your work as a business. Embrace this concept. It's a huge hurdle for many artists. Most artists want to just make art. If you want to be professional and successful, then you need to embrace the concept of your work as a business. Plan your career goals and define your objectives. It's best to do that as soon as possible so you have the best idea how to make decisions to go forward from this point. You should have confidence in yourself and your work. You can only reach your goals if you believe they are possible. Having tons of confidence in your work helps you stay strong when criticism tries to reduce you into a weeping pile of self-pity. None of us want that. Have motivation to move forward towards your goal relentlessly. Take control. You're the only one responsible for your art. Taking a passive approach, such as waiting for an art dealer, collector, or gallery to pluck you from obscurity, is just not going to cut it. Nobody will buy your art, let alone view it, if it does not leave the studio. You need to find your audience and make sure they get to know you. You must take a proactive approach. Nobody else can do this for you. You also need to discipline yourself to keep striving and creating over the long haul. When the going gets tough, and it will, the discipline keep going. They push beyond their comfort zone and keep moving forward. Getting your artwork seen by as many as possible requires tons of effort and little luck. Focus on what you can control and let the forces beyond your control take care of the luck. You need to build a strong network. Building a strong network is essential for any artist looking to develop their career. Surround yourself with like-minded individuals who share your passion for art. Attend art events, join art clubs, and participate in workshops and exhibitions. And I can't stress this enough. I know that it's made a huge difference in my life and many artists that I do one-on-one consulting with who were alone in their studios making artwork and didn't have a community. Once they joined art organizations and got connected with other artists, their lives just got more fulfilling and they got more inspired and felt more confident of themselves as an artist. So many things come out of having a strong network. Network not only helps you connect with fellow artists, but also opens doors to potential collaborations and opportunities. I met an artist at an opening. I'd never met her before. We started talking. I complimented her on her work. We ended up going to some art openings together. She got to know my work. She recommended me to her art consultant, and the consultant contacted me, and it led to a 35-piece commission for the new Johnson & Johnson headquarters in La Jolla. So you never know where you're going to learn something new that's going to lead to a great success for you. You want to continuously learn and improve. Artistic growth requires continuous learning and improvement. Take advantage of workshops, classes, and courses that can help you refine your skills and expand your knowledge. And if you take classes or workshops, put those on your resume, even if it's an online class or you're taking a workshop through a local artist. Gallerists love to see that you're continuing to improve your artwork. Seek mentorship. So mentorship can greatly accelerate an artist's development. Finding a mentor who has experience and success in your chosen field can provide valuable guidance and support. Mentors can offer insights and advice and help you navigate the challenges that come with building a career in the arts. So I was very fortunate when I lived in Southern California that while visiting galleries in Santa Monica, I met a gallerist who we had a great conversation. He started asking me about my art. He looked at my art on my website, and he said, you know what you ought to do? You ought to try doing that. And I went home and I did exactly that. And a month later, I came back to his gallery and I showed him a piece that was an example of what he had recommended. He goes, oh, that looks really great. Now, next thing you should do is do this. And so he mentored me into creating a new series within the body of work that I was working on, and it was very successful. So you never know where you'll find a mentor. So look for mentorship programs or reach out to established artists to inspire you. Okay, so we've got a lot to cover, but if you have any questions about what we've covered so far, go ahead and raise your hand. Okay, there's no questions yet, so I'm going to go ahead and move on. Okay, so strategies to stand out from the crowd and shine, which is what this is all about. Number one, you want to develop a signature style. Creating a signature style that is easily recognizable and unique from others can help artists stand out. You want to develop a strong portfolio website. Creating a portfolio website that showcases your best work, highlighting your unique style and artistic voice. Regularly update your portfolio as you create new pieces, ensuring that it reflects your growth and evolution as an artist. Optimize your online store. So if you sell your artwork online, ensure that your online store is user-friendly and optimize for search engines. Use high-quality images, provide detailed descriptions, and set reasonable prices. Explore online art marketplaces and platforms that can increase the visibility of your work and connect you with the potential buyers. So both with your online store and your portfolio website, you want to make sure that you're addressing your SEO, your search engine optimization, which happens in the background by putting in keywords and meta words and descriptions to make sure that they're easily found through search engines such as Google or Bing. You want to leverage social media. Social media platforms like Instagram and Facebook can be used to showcase artwork and reach a wider audience. Engage with your audience and fellow artists to build a supportive community. Artists can also use hashtags to increase visibility and engage with their followers. So for example, I'm on Facebook and I have about 900 to 1,000 artists that I'm friends with. So I see their posts, they see mine, we know what each other are doing and upcoming events, and it helps create a great online community of artists. Build an email list. Encourage visitors to your website, exhibitions, and artist studio to join your email list. Regularly send updates about your new work, upcoming exhibitions, and other relevant news to keep your audience engaged. Participate in art competitions and juried exhibitions. Participating in these can help artists gain exposure and recognition. Submit your work to local, national, and international art exhibitions. This can also help them network with other artists and industry professionals. Network within the art community. Attend art events, exhibitions, gallery openings to connect with other artists, gallery owners, and art enthusiasts. Join online art forums, groups, and communities where you can share your work, receive feedback, and stay informed about industry trends. So an example of attending events, art events, Hospitality House has an auction every year, and it's a juried auction, and several art gallery owners coordinate that. So Andrea Schwartz from Andrea Schwartz Gallery and Jennifer Ferris from Studio Gallery and several others volunteer to put it all together. So if you submit your work and it's included, then they see your work, and then you attend the event and you can introduce yourself and meet them, and they get to know who you are. So that's a great way to network. Collaborate with other artists. So collaborating with other artists can help artists learn new techniques, gain new perspectives, and create new opportunities. This can also help them reach new audiences, expand their network. So I know several artists who collaborated together for two-person shows, where one would start a piece and the other would finish a piece, and they trade them back and forth, or they do pieces individually, and then they'd have one large piece that they did together on this subject or theme. So that's an example of how you could collaborate with another artist. You want to seek press coverage, write compelling press releases, and reach out to art-related publications, blogs, and local newspapers. Getting featured in the media can significantly boost your visibility and credibility. Maintain relationships with art journalists and influencers who may be interested in featuring your work. You also want to invest in professional development, continuously improve your skills, attend workshops, classes, and conferences to expand your knowledge and network. Work with mentors or advisors who can provide guidance on both artistic and business aspects of your career. Stay up to date with industry trends. Staying up to date with these trends can help artists stay relevant and competitive. This can be achieved by attending art shows, reading art blogs, and following industry leaders. Be consistent and patient. Building a successful career as a visual artist takes time and persistence. Be consistent in creating and promoting your work, and be patient as you navigate the challenges and opportunities arise. So remember, success in the art world often involves a combination of talent, dedication, and effective self-promotion. By implementing these strategies, you can increase your visibility and enhance your chances of establishing yourself as a professional visual artist. So I know we covered just a lot really quickly. If you have any questions about what we've covered so far, go ahead and raise your hand. So Brian, go ahead and unmute yourself and ask your question.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, this whole idea of SEO, I've not been able, I have a website. I think it's pretty good, but I don't get enough traffic there. Another artist told me a good idea is to use one of these AI descriptors. They describe your artwork, and it's kind of, you know, I don't know.
Okay, so first off, what I recommend, I also do a class that I just did 2 weeks ago that covered this. So it won't be coming up again for another year, but you can go online and enter in what platform you use. I use Weebly, and you can enter in, for example, Weebly, SEO, keywords, how to enter, and then all sorts of websites come up that give you instructions. If you use Google, AI will give you information. You can click on different websites. You can watch videos. And so there's a lot of information on how to do this that's available online. So what platform are you using?
I'm on ArtSpan.
On ArtSpan, okay.
Yeah.
So ArtSpan is limited because they're hosting the site
right
for everybody, versus like Weebly or Square, which actually hosts your own devoted website. So I would suggest contacting ArtSpan and ask them how to set up your SEO for your website. That's very specific.
Okay, yeah, they said I could pay for a little extra while for however many months they would help me with that. But I haven't done that yet.
Okay, well, they should have something in writing too that you should do. But since you have ArtSpan, you have to find out how they have that set up.
Do you recommend getting off of that kind of site and getting?
Yes, actually, it's best to have a dedicated website just for yourself and not be part of a group website. So having, again, like I mentioned, Weebly, some artists use Squarespace, Caroline, what do you use? What is yours?
Mine is FASO, FASO.com. They have everything built in, you know, all your shopping newsletters. They have a lot of marketing assistance and everything else. They're out of it's FASO, Fine Arts Studio Online, I think it's, and
Okay.
they're also called
Okay.
Bold Brush.
Okay, thank you, Caroline. So you could
Thanks.
check that out. You could check Weebly. That's the one I recommend. I find that it's easiest. So Brian, thank you for your question.
Okay.
We're going to have to move on. So here is the next section. So present yourself as a professional. So being a professional is more than just meeting certain goals. It's also how you present yourself. It's how you carry yourself, the way you dress, and the confidence you show in your work. When you engage in the art world, dress well, look clean, present your work in the best light, and have professional looking marketing materials. You wouldn't believe the negative impact an unkept mat and frame can have, for example. On the opposite tack, the positive one that a smartly dressed, engaging persona can have. When it comes to representing an artist's artwork, gallery owners expect the following from visual artists. They expect professionalism. Gallery owners expect artists to be professional in their dealings with them. This includes being punctual, reliable, and responsive. Gallery owners expect artists to produce high quality work that is well executed and visually appealing. Gallery owners expect artists to be consistent in their work and style. This means that artists should be able to produce work that is similar in quality and style to their previous work. And this is what we call the signature style that we mentioned earlier. Gallery owners expect artists to price their works appropriately. This means that artists should be aware of the market value of the work and price it properly. Gallery owners expect artists to be available to discuss their work and answer any questions that potential buyers may have. So if they have an opening reception or an artist talk, they expect the artist to attend those. So by meeting these expectations, artists can establish themselves as professionals and increase their chances of success in the art world. You want to also gain attention from art galleries and dealers. So you want to research galleries and dealers. Artists should research galleries and dealers that specialize in their style of art. This can help them identify the right people to approach and increase their chances of success. Attend art events. So attending art events such as art exhibitions and art fairs can help artists network with the industry professionals and gain exposure for their work. Artists can reach out to galleries and dealers by sending them an email or a physical mailing like a postcard or a booklet or pamphlet. They should include a brief introduction, a link to their portfolio, and any relevant information about their work. Gaining attention from galleries and dealers can take time and effort. Artists should stay persistent and continue to create new work and reach out to new people. Remember, gaining attention from galleries, consultants, and dealers is not easy, but it is possible. By following these tips and staying persistent, artists can increase their chances of success. Okay, any questions about what we just covered? Raise your hand if you have a question. Yes, Jacqueline, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Hey, how's it going?
It's
Good
going
to
well.
see you
Good to see
again.
you.
I was just curious about what kinds of blogs you read because I think that some of the publications, they're like more high-end art world, like Art Forum, right? Like it's more about like fairs and things that are I think targeted towards like blue chip artists. And I was just wondering, like, are those the kind of blogs you read? Or are you reading more specific blogs or?
Okay, and are you mentioning blogs to learn how to promote yourself, or blogs to learn what is in style, or blogs to learn techniques to improve your art?
I was just thinking like about specifically staying up to date with trends, like what?
Okay,
Yeah,
so
like a
I would look for local and regional blogs that are more about your community and what's going on in your community of artists. Like you said, Art News and Art Forum are dealing with the gold blue chip level of art, and which is not the world that we live in. And so being in touch with local art organizations that may have newsletters or other organizations that relate to art. So you could just go again to a search engine and enter in local art blogs, San Francisco Bay Area, and see what pops up. And you can try different words to try to find blogs. But I think looking into local, and since you're in California, also maybe look in LA, see what's happening on the LA scene as well.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Cool.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks for your question, Jackie. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and resume the program. And it's a good thing everything that you see in writing is available because it's an awful lot. Okay, so we have written materials is the next section we're going to talk about. So to give people a great understanding of you and your artwork, a responsible artist has to be able to explain their background, processes, thoughts, and ideas through such written materials as their artist biography, artist resume, and an artist statement. Your biography should be a brief statement of who you are as a person and as an artist. Describe where you are from, any relevant education, training, or experience that you've had, something unique about yourself, and you can include your current work and goals. You can include a few important factual highlights of your education, exhibits, awards, or art-related experience. For example, my artwork is included in the permanent collection of the Riverside Art Museum. So that is in my resume, but I highlight in my biography as well because it's important. Then there's the artist resume, and it should give the reader a sense of who you are. Your artist resume should be straightforward and comprehensive, free of any personal theories or beliefs. Only include employment history if it is pertinent to your artwork or your artist career. If you are an emerging artist, you may want to list your achievements as a student. So keep your resume up to date with new entries for art training or education, your exhibition history, any prominent collectors, awards, publications you've been in, and teaching experience. And then there's your artist statement. Your artist statement is your mission statement. This is your opportunity to fully discuss your personal beliefs, influences, motivations, and purpose in making artwork. Gallerists look to this to learn about your work and know what insights they will be able to share with their clients. A well-written artist statement can be an important tool in selling your work to potential clients, especially when you're not there in person. So what should you include in your artist statement? You can include information about the style of work you create and the materials you use. You can include why you create this type of art and what led you to your career as an artist. You can include where you find inspiration and which other artists or movements influence your work. You can include what your intentions are for your work and what you want viewers to experience when they look at your artwork. And you can include why you made the choices in your work. Why did you choose these colors? Why did you choose the scale? Why did you choose this subject matter? Okay, any questions about your written materials? Go ahead and raise your hand if you have a question. Okay, I assume everybody has all these materials written, but you might want to review it and make sure that it's as professional as possible. Caroline, go ahead and unmute yourself and ask your question.
Yes, I have a CV, which is what you're calling resume. And then I have stuff about myself on my website in a couple of different about section, whatever. But the artist statement I'm taking is something separate than those things.
Yes, so I like to have my artist statement or an artist statement with the images of the artwork on the portfolio page. And it's about the artwork. It's not about the artist. So it should be with the artwork. So I have an umbrella artist statement that covers the entire body of work. I like to have that on the portfolio page. That shows one image of each series. And then a short series statement for each series. So when you open a series page and you see all the images in that particular series, there's another statement identifying what's unique about this series. What is this series investigating that's different from all the others? And that could be just, 3 or 4 sentences even. So that artist statement's related to your art and your bio and your resume is related to you. So that should be on your about page or your bio page. Okay.
And so there's an overall artist statement. How long is an artist statement? Because I've seen some that are short, some that are very long, actually.
Yeah, and long is not good. So I like to write mine in 3 paragraphs. And I usually do 3 to 5 sentences in each paragraph. And so there's an introduction, a development, and a conclusion. So that's not too long, visually long artist statements deter people from actually reading them.
I was going to say, I've seen some of that.
Okay, Caroline, thanks for your question. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and resume the program. Okay, you want to develop a strong online presence in today's digital age. Having a strong online presence is crucial for artists. Create a professional website or portfolio showcasing your work. Utilize social media platforms to share your art, engage with your audience, and connect with potential clients or galleries. Building an online following can significantly increase your visibility and open doors to new opportunities. So let's look at the different online tools you have. You have your artist website. Your artist portfolio website is your introduction to the world. This is the first place that people look to see if they want to go forward with acquiring your work. If I go to an art exhibition, I see a piece of artwork that I fall in love with, I really am thinking about buying it. I pull out my phone and I do some research and I go to that artist's website. I look at their resume, I look at their exhibition history, I look at other images of their work, and I want to find that, yes, they are a professional. I'm not buying a piece that's just a fluke that happens to be good and all the other pieces are not as good. So I want to do a little research on that artist. Gallerists, collectors, and potential buyers look online to verify your history and credentials as an artist, as well as to learn more about your work. It's come to be an expected part of an artist's business. I've asked gallerists, when you go to an artist's website, what are you looking for? And they say they're looking for a demonstration that the artist is professional, that they are showing their work on a regular basis, that they've taken classes, that they're educated, that they have joined art organizations and are participating and volunteering in the community. So your resume and your bio are your best way to demonstrate those things. Do you have a website? Is usually the first question that a gallery asks if they're interested in your work. So gallerists look for a website that is user-friendly, simple, and direct. I've gone to a lot of websites that I get lost. I get to a certain page. I don't know how to go back. I don't know where to go from there. And that makes me just want to close the website and leave. Social media. So you want to create and maintain a successful online social media artist profile. Approach this task pretty much like you would approach any other job. Social media for any artist is all about sharing significant aspects of your artist's life. Share with anyone, anywhere who comes across your art, whether on purpose or by accident, who wants to know more or might potentially be interested in deepening their connections with you and your work. Think through, identify, and understand your intentions to engage with people to become more effective in your overall presentation. Decide what your main narrative is and keep it consistent with a unifying thread or direction. So every workshop I've ever taken on social media, and that's including Instagram and Facebook, they say what's important is create a narrative. That this month, my narrative is how I make this series, what my inspiration is, what's the medium I use, the works in progress as I go. And then next month, my narrative is maybe concentrating on a different series. So you have a unifying thread or direction for all your posts in your social media. Focus on establishing a narrative or storyline with your artistic life and career. You not only want people to visit your page, but you also want them to decide to friend or follow you. Engage them in some other way, and they will keep coming back. Offer encouragement for people to come back and see what's new. Update regularly in order to show that your artist's life is active and ongoing. They want to see post on a daily basis if possible. One of the most important parts of good social networking is to post daily or at least several times a week. And then you want to post to engage your audience. Make posts that encourage likes and comments, and most importantly, shares and tagging. So the more likes and comments you get from other people, the more the social media is going to show your pages and your posts to other people. And if they share your post, then even more people are going to see it. So you want to create posts that encourage your audience to engage. When you post images of your art, say something engaging about it, the story behind it, what inspired it, what it signifies, what it stands for, what you're attempting to communicate, what was happening in your life at that moment. Make it personal. Share that story of you, the artist, with the piece. Make it more than just another piece of art. Make it something people want to learn about. The story almost always makes the art so much better. Make your post newsworthy to advertise, like an upcoming show, new work for sale, a special artist offer, or you're starting a newsletter, etc. So next thing is email newsletters. Email newsletters are the most effective means to reach your audience. What do you share in an email newsletter? Art collectors love the artist as much as the art and enjoy learning about their favorite artists and their artwork. They want to learn about the artist. So you can introduce your new series. You can announce recent awards and honors. You can announce acceptance into galleries or exhibitions. You can invite people to opening receptions, artist talks, or closing receptions. You can explain your technique and process in creating your artwork. You can share what you are inspired by now and why. You can share what is your next project that you're starting on. And so these are all things that you can use different subject matter in each newsletter. Then let's talk about frequency. So let's send an email newsletter once a month or when there is a good reason to do so. Sending one more than once a month gets a little too often. It may take 1 or 2 days to craft a good email and prepare quality images for it. So it takes time. So if you do just one a month, that's a day or so that it takes to set it all up. If your readers want more frequent updates from you, then they may follow you on Facebook or Instagram, where you post on a daily basis. So we're going to stop for questions and answers. And I just want to share with you from my experience as the managing partner of Art Gallery in San Francisco for 14 years, what drove the attendance to our programs and events was email newsletters. Yes, we posted on social media, but people came because of the social media. I mean, because of the email newsletters. That's the strongest way to reach out to people. Okay, any questions about what we just covered? How many people? Okay, Danielle, go ahead and unmute yourself and you can ask your question.
Yeah, I guess I only have Instagram right now. I don't have a website, so I guess that's not good.
Yes, so I have to share with you, at our gallery, we did not rent a space to any artist, in studio space to any artist, or show an artist that did not have a website. That was the #1 requirement for a professional artist. So having a website is very important, and it shows that you are a professional.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks
Sure.
for your question. Okay, any other questions or comments? Okay, we'll go ahead and well, how many people are on Instagram? Raise your hand. Almost everybody. I just want to share with you Al Castillo, who was the executive director for the San Francisco Museum of Modern Art Artist Gallery. He told me one day, he said, you know, I just got a new client this morning, and I went to Instagram and I use it as my Rolodex. And I flipped through all the artists that I'm following and looked at images, and I picked out a piece that I thought would be best for my client. I showed him the image, he fell in love with it, and he bought it for $40,000, all in one day. He uses Instagram as a major tool. Every gallerist that I know, after they go to your website, the second thing they do is go to your Instagram page, and they look at your following and your posts. So that also gives them information that you are a professional, that you're actively promoting. Why? I ask them, and they say, well, you know, if we're going to include an artist in an exhibition or give them a solo show, we expect them to promote the exhibition and bring their following. So they have to have it on their website. They have to have it on Instagram. They have to send out emails. And if they don't do that, then why should we be representing that artist? So that's an important part of why gallerists, what gallerists are looking for. Okay, we're going to go ahead and resume the presentation. Okay, so we've got your toolbox. So once you have a plan of action in place, use your toolbox to help you reach your goals. So what's included in your toolbox? There's your online tools. That includes your websites. That includes any online marketplaces. So there's websites that you can post your artwork to sell. I always recommend ugallery.com, and that's the letter U, the word gallery.com. And I know the owners, they are very active in promoting their website. I know a lot of artists who have sold a lot of artwork through their website. So you might check uGallery as an online marketplace. Check for blogs as in, or create blogs. So you can attach the blog tool through your website platform, and you create your blogs that go out to followers and people that subscribe to your blog. And if you post every day, it's kind of like posting on Instagram or Facebook, but it's directed to people that are truly interested in your work. Then you've got your mailing list. You want to build your mailing list as much as possible. You want to get those email addresses whenever possible. You know, even when you're standing in line at a grocery store and the line is long, you start talking to the person behind you and they ask you, what do you do? Oh, well, I'm an artist. You might have a postcard with you or a business card. You hand it to them. And then you say, you know, this is what I do. Would you like to be on my email list? I can let you know about my upcoming events. And you can just collect email addresses from people that you visit with or talk to any way that you can. You want to create newsletters like we discussed, and those go out on a monthly basis. You can create press releases. Most people do not write press releases anymore. And I have a class for ArtSFAN coming up in July about how to write a press release, and it includes who to send it to. And so writing a press release and getting it sent out into the world is really important. I use PR Web, that's PRWEB, to send digital releases of my press release. And it costs about $1.99 for the second level from the bottom. And it goes out to, I think over, it goes out to, they have up to 300,000 sites and publications and magazines and newspapers and radio and TV stations that receive their press releases. And you can identify what your demographics are, what geography, what type of person, what your topic is, etc. And I've done press releases that still showed up 5 years later on Google. So it gives you a great online presence as well. And then we talked about social media, of course, and those are your online tools. And then there's your offline tools. So those are art galleries. So you can visit art galleries, keep in touch with what's going on. And I recommend that you go to as many art galleries as possible and identify the ones that you feel are the best match for you, and go to those on a regular basis and eventually get to know the gallery owners or directors. When I ask gallerists, how do you find new artists? A lot of them say, we find artists because we already know them. I said, how do you know artists already? Oh, well, they come to our openings. They come to visit our gallery. We find out about them. So when an opening becomes available, they usually turn to somebody they already know. You can go to art fairs. There's outdoor art fairs, but there's also the indoor high-end fairs like what is in San Francisco? It was SF Market, Art Market.
They
You
got
can
that
go,
super fine. Yeah.
oh, that's one of them. Yeah, there's many of them, but I'm talking about the high end as well. Thank you, Caroline. You can go to art exhibitions and see, you know, exhibitions at museums. You can join art organizations and participate in those. And they almost always have members exhibitions, either in their own space or they rent spaces. You can enter competitions or juried shows to get your name out there and get your work out there. You can apply for grants and artists within residences. You can look for public art opportunities, or you can look for publishers to get your work published in a magazine or mentioned in a story, if you know, local newspaper. And that's one reason why PR press releases are so important, through networking and meeting other artists and other people in the art world, collaborating with other artists. And then there's TV and film. And I haven't mentioned that before, but there's a term called cleared art, which means it's been cleared and authenticized to be used for media such as TV and film. So there's specific people that are the art directors and the set directors for TVs and movies, and they look for cleared art. So they might work with a consultant, they might work individually with artists. So if you're interested in that, you might go online and find out who handles cleared art in California, mostly in LA, but also in this Bay Area. And then there's your print tools, things that you actually print. Of course, there's your business cards, and you should have them on you at all times because you never know when there's a situation where it's appropriate for you to hand somebody your business card. And then you create flyers and posters. That's kind of old school. And so few people do that it really causes more attention to have posters and flyers put up in different places in the community. And then postcards and pamphlets and booklets. These are things that you can print and then mail out as well. These can be informative. That has a pamphlet or booklet can have your artist bio, it can have your resume, it has images of different series of your work, and that you can send these to galleries. And then any merchandise that you want to create, like canvas bags or mugs or things like that. So these are all things that you can print. Okay, so do you have any questions about the toolbox? I'm going to open it. Okay, so Jackie, I'll start with you first. Go ahead and unmute yourself and ask your question.
Yeah, so when you mentioned PR web and using it for press releases, if it's a local exhibition, event, or a workshop, does it make sense to have a press release and to pay for it if it's just going to be local?
So what I use a press release for, and I include this, you know, in any type of promotion, you don't necessarily get people to attend the event, you get people to know who you are. And that's even more important. So I don't want to share this, but I feel like I need to. I had a solo exhibition in San Francisco in a very large space. And the opening reception was 2 hours and 50 people attended. Well, 50 people doesn't sound too bad, but in a very large space over 2 hours, there's 2 or 3 people at a time. And it was embarrassing, but only those 50 people and I knew that I had such a small attendance. But everybody else in the Bay Area saw that I had a solo exhibition, that I was having an opening reception. They saw it on social media. They saw it in newsletters. They saw it in press releases. So it's sometimes more important to get the word out than it is to get the attendance. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so it's about perception of you and
Yes.
developing that perception outside of the like local reality.
Yes, and I always say perception is more important than reality, as a joke. But that's when, you know, after the event, and I had such a small turnout, I thought, but there's hundreds, if not over 1,000 people that know that I had a solo show. So it doesn't matter whether they came or not. It's more important that they know about it. Okay, Jackie, thanks for your question. Okay, and Jean, you had your hand up.
Yes, I was wondering if you're familiar with some of the online, I guess you call them art exhibitors that set up catalogs and whatever to sell your stuff overseas in Europe and places like that. I've
Well,
always
I
been
know
cautious not to even touch those because I don't know who they are and,
yeah, I
You
don't,
know.
I don't trust them. It's usually they ask you to pay money up front.
yeah,
Anytime they want you to pay up front, it makes me think they make more money from the artist than from selling the artwork. If
right.
they
Yeah, that's
sold a
kinda what
lot
I
of
thought too, yeah.
artwork, they wouldn't need any money from the artists.
Right.
So there's Saatchi and Artsy, and there's a lot of websites.
There's a ton of
You
them.
could-
I get like 2 or 3 a month.
Yeah, and that's
This is
why I
good stuff.
mentioned you, Gallery, because of all the websites that show and sell artwork online. I know these people, I know their success, and I highly recommend them. And again, that's
How
you,
is that spelled? Is it?
the letter
U?
U, and then the word gallery.com.
Okay. I'll
Okay,
check them out. Thank you.
okay, Jean, thanks for your question. Any other questions? Raise your hand. Okay, Brian, go ahead and unmute yourself and ask your question.
Would you put out a press release if you're just accepted into a juried show?
You know,
I
again,
do a
if
lot
you
of
want to
those.
get the word out, that's one really good way to do it. Wouldn't it be great to have that listed in the local paper or in a magazine or on a local TV station? They might call you up and invite you to come early in the morning and talk about your artwork and the venue that you're showing your work in. So you never know what's going to happen. But again, what happens is it might get into San Francisco Chronicle or KQED or something like that, but also it gets online. So if somebody, I'm just going to make up something. You do paintings of the Golden Gate Bridge and somebody Googles paintings Golden Gate Bridge. Well, your press release will pop up because it's the subject matter is Golden Gate Bridge. And then they'll see your name and they'll see your venue. And it might be current, or it might be from 2 months ago or 3 months ago, even a year ago. And they go, oh, look at this artist. He got an article written about him in this, this online resource. And yeah, I'm going to contact them. So it's, I wouldn't do one every month because that can add up to quite a bit of money, but to do 1 or 2 a year, a press release to get the word out there and get your name out there for any accomplishments. And a press release, you can go online and read about writing press releases. If you're not a member of SFAN and can't attend the program in July, you can go online and there's a lot of websites that describe how to write an
I've done it. I've
press
done it.
release.
Can
Okay,
I ask
great.
you another question?
Yes.
Yeah, I just had I was interviewed for this art show. I'm in Tiburon, and I was one of 4 artists that were interviewed, and we're in this article in this local paper. Now I want to promote that, but I don't. How do I? Is it cool just to promote? I was thinking of posting it on social media. Should I post like a section of it and just
Yeah,
out
so you could
highlight where I?
Yeah, you can
wrote?
scan like the headline of the article and the section
Yeah.
that talks about you and any picture that
Yeah.
it might include, and create a JPEG and then post that on Instagram, post that on Facebook. If you're on Facebook, you can send out an email. I'm excited to be included in or
Right.
mentioned in this article written in the Tiburon Times or whatever.
Yeah.
You can use it, post it on your website.
But should I just take the part I'm in and exclude the rest, or put it in context? I think it should
So
be in context.
I would make like a mosaic, have the headline and the title, and then have the section that mentions you, and then maybe have a picture, maybe of the work that's included in there. And you might have a little, they usually start with the description of the show. So you create maybe a JPEG, and you have one section is the headline, one's the article, one's a picture of you, one's a description, and you put that together and merge it together as one JPEG, and you post that JPEG. Does that make sense?
Not sure. You're saying you can cut and paste different parts together that pertain to you?
Yeah, so let's say this is my JPEG, and I draw a line, and this is the headline up here. And then I'll draw another line, and I'll take part of the article, and that goes there. And then I can get a picture of my artwork, and I put that there, and I just very easily put 3 different images into one JPEG. Does that make sense? Can you see
Oh,
the example?
Yeah, Yeah,
Okay, and that's pretty easy if you have Photoshop or another photo app. Okay, Brian, I
Okay,
hope that
all right.
helps you. Any other questions
Yeah.
before we wrap up? Okay, Caroline, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Yeah, following up on the PR, that's very interesting because I know about PR from a business standpoint, but not in this context. If one is gotten into a juried show and the juried show isn't, in this case, Kings Mountain till Labor Day, wouldn't I want to do a PR piece maybe in July or August, or as opposed to now?
Yes, so you want to make sure that the timing is appropriate. So if the event is in September, then you probably want that press release to go out the month before. And it usually takes people a while to read it, to decide, oh, I'm going to use it. They may use it immediately, or they may use it in 2 weeks. They may be doing a whole story about the event, and they might include you with other artists as well. So at least a month in advance is what I try to do. Just trying to think. And the main thing about a press release to get it picked up is that it relates to the community. It's something that is current events happening in the community, happening in the world, something that touches people, something that touches their heart, etc. So it's not just I'm included in this show, but this show is important because this is the 30th anniversary of this exhibition, or this is a piece that.
Well, Kings Mountain is a fundraiser for their volunteer fire department, and with the fire wildfires and everything, that's a.
Yep, that's the hook. So you have to have a hook. Okay, thank
Got
you,
it. Now that
Caroline, for your question.
And PR.com is, that's a self-explanatory how to use their site when you get.
PR Web.
Excuse me, prweb.com. I did write it
Yes.
down, yeah.
PRWEB.
Mhm.
And yeah, that explains everything there. And there's several different levels, and
Yeah,
the
tiers
basic
of it.
level, I go one step above the basic level.
Got it.
That has all the things that I need. Okay, any other questions before we wrap up? Okay, so let's go ahead and wrap the session up. So if you'd like me to email you with a PDF file handout of this program, please email me with a request to do so. And my email address is stephen5w@sbcglobal.net. So if you do this right after the program, then tomorrow morning before I start my day, I'll respond to everybody and attach the PDF file. And then I have upcoming programs. So this year I'm doing programs every other Monday, and I'm taking a break for the summer. So in April, we have working with art consultants and interior designers and how to stand out in crowded social media. And then in May, we have prepare your open studios. And then after a break in the summer, in September, we start up again and creating effective email newsletters, and then crafting your artist bio, resume, and CVs. And there's programs every other Monday through the end of November. And so just to let you know, I do one-on-one consulting with artists. There's several people that are attending this program that I've been working with. So you can learn how to jumpstart your artist career and develop strategies, goals, and action plans. So it's usually $145 an hour. So if you've never worked with me before, I have a $99 first time special. Also, if you're in the state of California, there's a program, the Quick Grant Program, and it awards reimbursement up to $600 to California artists for working with consultants, coaches, and mentors for professional development. So you could receive 4 one-hour one-on-one sessions with me via Zoom and get them reimbursed by the Quick Grant Program. So if you're interested in doing that and learning more information, just email me and let me know that you're interested in the Quick Grant Program, and I'll explain how to go about doing that. You can get 4 free sessions working with me, and I'd be happy to do that. And I'm doing art and food tours. So I just finished art and food tours here in Mexico City, where I've been for the last 3 months. I'm going back to Chicago next week. So in September, I'm doing art and food tours, visiting galleries, museums, stopping for food, So you can learn more information, and this is in the PDF file as well. And then next year, doing the art and food tours in Mexico City again. And Mexico City is such a delightful, beautiful, magical place. And there's so many great art galleries here and art venues here. And they have 4 art fairs that happen the week before the art and food tours. So you can come out for the art fairs the week before and then stay another week for the art and food tours. So if you want to register for any programs that I offer, they're on the Artist Network website. So that's www.sfartistnetwork.org. So if you know of any other artists that you think would benefit from these programs, please share the website link to the Artist Network programs with them or forward the emails to them. Okay, so we covered a lot of information. I'm sure you're going to find the PDF file very helpful, and you can use it to refer to in the future. So what I'd like to do to end the program is ask for each one of you to share with me one thing that you got out of this program, one thing that you thought was new or important. So I'm going to start at the top. So Jackie, you're the first. If you could unmute yourself and share with me one thing that you thought was a key takeaway from tonight's program for you.
I'm thinking that I need to take PR seriously, and
Okay.
so yeah, I think that's always that's something that has definitely been a weakness for me. So now I'm tuned into that.
Okay, great. Thank you, Jackie, for sharing that, and thanks for joining the program. So Jean, if you want to unmute yourself, you want to share with us one thing that you thought was new or
I think I am unmuted. Yes.
yeah, you're already unmuted.
Yes. I like the question that I asked about the galleries that are across in foreign countries and so on. And you gave me the information for the U Gallery. Because I'm looking to more go online now. I'm turning 80 this next year, and it's like we want to give up the art festivals and all
That's a hard life.
that we've been doing since 2008, and it's like it's just getting too hard now. So I'm trying to get more of an online presence, you know, and get to places that can advertise some of my art in a bigger arena than
Okay,
what I
Jean.
have with my website and so on.
Okay, thank you so much for sharing that, and I'm glad that you could join the program tonight.
Okay, thank
Okay,
you.
and then Brian, if you want to unmute yourself and share with us one thing that you felt.
Yeah, I think the information about the website SEO, I'm really thinking seriously about changing to a different host, getting out of artspan.com.
So I just want to share with you, I've created some new pages from my website in the last couple of weeks. And on Friday, I went through all those pages and added the SEO. And then today on Monday, I went and Googled, and all of a sudden they weren't popping up before, and now they're popping up. So the SEO makes a difference, and it can make a difference really quick. Okay, Brian, thanks for sharing that, and thanks for joining the program tonight. And then we have Alana, if you want to unmute yourself and share with us one thing that you felt was new or important from the program tonight.
I wrote this down as sort of a formula that you mentioned. It was the talent plus dedication plus effective self-promotion. It was just, it's nice seeing, I mean, it's not simple, but it's nice seeing it in simple terms. So,
and to remind you.
yes, and a good reminder.
Okay, thank you so much for sharing that. And I'm glad you could join the program tonight. And Caroline, if you want to unmute yourself and share with us one thing briefly that you felt was a key takeaway.
Well, actually, 2 things. One was the overview of both the online and offline and how they work together, and having a checklist like that to see what I'm doing and what I need to do better, and how they work together. And the PR, I didn't know about PR web, and that's, I know the importance of PR, and to have it be a resource to be able to do that, that's great.
Yeah.
And Uline, I have to work on investigate Uline Gallery more. Yeah.
So U Gallery, just U.
Sorry, U Gallery.
Yeah. Okay, Caroline, thanks for sharing that, and I'm glad you could join the program tonight. And Danielle, if you want to unmute yourself and share with us one thing that you felt was new or important that you heard in the program.
Well, you know, I might be about to retire, so I'll probably have more time for myself now, but, you know, I'm not very good at the marketing. So you know, I got to get a website. I did take a class last year whereby I got on Instagram, but I haven't done the website, so I know I have to do that.
It's kind of the basic thing an artist should do. So
Yeah,
thank
yeah.
you, Danielle, for sharing that with us, and glad you could join the program tonight. So thank you tonight for joining me, and I hope to see you at future programs. So good night, everybody. Take care.